How much are we all full of parasites?
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah,
if we
very
take
much.
some of that black walnut oil or whatever you said earlier, will most of us, will you even notice it in your poop? Or would you like fill a bowl with worms and
you might. It's most are not visible, and if they're in the stool, then you won't know unless somehow they come out isolated. And
you hunt around.
Unfortunately, I think a lot of people that done parasite cleanses are probably laughing because they end up getting really curious and trying to get a stick and break up their stool to try to find a parasite in there.
Wow, vile.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I'd never have done that. Yeah,
I would just be like, I bet it worked. Like, I feel better all standing there with a coat hanger. I'm like, I feel better already, actually.
But okay, I'll give you an indicator though. You could often tell by the smell. There's a strong smell that is different, and a putrid smell that is kind of like something.
Taylor, you're eat up with parasites.
Oh, yeah.
What you want?
Yeah, that's so funny.
My girlfriend's been looking for the
parasites sometimes make
week.
it where when you poop, you have to wipe your whole ass.
Your hip.
These damned parasites got shit water on my lower back.
Yeah. So yes, parasites are bad, man, and they're systemic, and like just Toxoplasma gondii. That's one parasite. You know how many Americans?
That's the cat one.
Yes, exactly. How many Americans do you think might be estimated to be infected by that one of hundreds of parasites common in humans?
It would have to be millions because of all the cat ladies who live around the
the dirty cat lady.
At least 60 million, right? So that's CDC, right? So, and then those 60 million become carriers as well.
Wait, that's like in America, it's 60 million?
Yes, just in America.
Well, that's fucking. There's only 350 million of us.
I know.
It's like 17% or something.
It's a zombie apocalypse, bro. And
it is another win for dog people.
Yeah. Are there? I hope Toby didn't give me any worms. I mean, we live pretty close. Like we share a bed.
We got.
If he's got him, I got him.
We got to black walnut it up and report back.
You can both get on the parasite cleanses, and when you combine red light with parasite cleansing, it becomes a form of photodynamic therapy, specifically a parasite-related photodynamic therapy. Extremely effective because red light is proven in and of itself to kill intracellular parasites, and so it's a really great combo because a lot of people try to do parasite cleanses and they never beat it, and they suffer still. And I think there's a lack of knowledge. And I get one of the like the Nobel Prize was won for artemisinin, sweet wormwood, which is what is ivermectin. So you can actually get the original artemisinin, and that is a photosensitizer. So it's activated by red light, like methylene blue, which some studies are showing a 99 to 100% reduction in tumors with the presence of methylene blue. Certain types of cancer easier than others, but all showing a dramatic response in the clinical studies on photodynamic therapy with methylene blue. So
I saw some post about the parasite thing months and months ago, and I know it was because I was high. Because at the time, I was watching the video and the guy's talking about parasites and everybody's got these and you never do anything to get rid of them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is the appropriate amount of time to flush parasites not once ever? Because that's where I'm at. Like, is the appropriate time never ever? And like, I just got in my head high, like, oh, what kind of baddies are living in me? And then I woke up and was like, I feel fine. I'm probably good.
What kind of parasites could you have? Like, what could you have?
You just eat dirty food.
What?
Accident.
Well, giant roundworm. Do you know how many people worldwide are infected with giant roundworm?
Well, they eat that raw pork. Like,
roundworm.
I saw that guy. His legs were there was more roundworm in his legs than there were legs. He had eaten so much pork.
Oh my goodness! I just looked up the number: 807 million to 1.2 billion.
I was going to say 1 billion, and I was right in the middle. So, yep.
Holy cow!
And that's just one parasite. Okay, thousands of parasites, hundreds that are common in humans. And when you get a parasite test done, they don't test for the main categories. They're testing certain isolated categories that mean that people test negative when they're actually positive. I remember a woman, Natalia Voloshin. She had vasculitis, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, myositis, and rheumatoid arthritis. So 4 conditions. Before that, she was pretty healthy. She remembers eating ceviche in South America. Then health went downhill.
Strike one.
Yeah. I know. Does 2 parasite tests, test negative, spends $200,000 over the course of 5.5 years trying to get better, is in a wheelchair, her legs are going gangrene, gets told, she's at Cleveland Clinic, gets told that in 2 weeks you're going to have both your legs amputated unless you go on high dose chemo and steroids. She finds a documentary I put out called Autoimmune Secrets. She is at that point, she's seen 30 specialists, about half of them are functional medicine doctors and naturopaths, the other half are conventional. She watches my documentary series and orders a protocol I created with my company, Well of Life, gets on 2 bundles I created, one called the Gut Renewal Bundle, the other one, the Ultimate Detox Bundle, which uses Mimosa pudica seed 10-to-1 extract, green harvested black walnut hulls. And so it was a parasite cleanse with fulvic acid as a toxi binder, with dandelion root, milk thistle, liver cleansing, toxin cleansing. Within 3 months, well, 1, she didn't have to get her legs amputated. 2, within a few months, then she starts seeing parasites and her whole body just starts changing, even though she tested negative twice. And I said, ignore the test. And by a few months in, she's back to swimming, cycling, Pilates. And I went and filmed with her 5 years ago in Delray. And she was Estonian. She came to America and she had to work so hard for her career. She had to be smarter than men to be able to accelerate in a world that didn't allow for that. 3 people had to take her position when she had to resign from her career. She was very smart. So her documentation was very articulate and her way to articulate was amazing. So we covered that, but it really inspired me to know what's possible. So that was just parasite cleansing and heavy metal cleansing. And she went from having these 4 conditions. And when she got off chemo and steroids, they said, well, instead of every 2 weeks, we've got to test you every week. And her blood work normalized. And without those, and they said, we can't explain this. And she said, this is what I'm doing. She showed the supplements. And so, yes, these things happen if you just go after the right culprit.
Do you avoid stuff like tuna and stuff that has like mercury in it at higher rates? Or are you like, no, it's fine as a treat?
I avoid it, but if I was like having it one off, I wouldn't get obsessed about it. And I'm generally vegetarian unless somebody's, made something out of the goodness of their heart and wants to serve me it. I kind of would pretend that I'm not vegetarian to be hospitable, but I
like that a lot. More vegetarians need to take a little page from that book where they'll be like, I can't eat that. And it's like, yeah, but grandma really worked on it. So fucking eat it.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. The one where I can't bend on is pork, pig. That one's, and maybe that's because of the parasite count or something. I just can't, but other than that, yes, I will concede.
Pigs are that much worse? I know I've always heard that, but pork is so tasty. I don't want to give it up.
Yeah. But okay. So if you watch the National Geographic films on how parasites take over the brains of animals, so they can't even control their own actions anymore. Like ants will go march the opposite direction of where they're supposed to be going and hang themselves out of flowers and wait to get eaten by a cow so they can transfer into the liver of the cow. It's the same reason why the Toxoplasma gondii gives you a fearlessness against cats. I mean, for mice, so they become fearless around cats, and they're like, "Come on, like you're my friend, right?" And it's because the parasite wants to transfer, and the mouse normally would have had that aversion. By the way, if you have Toxoplasma gondii or toxoplasmosis, you are 7.13 times more likely to attempt suicide than if you did not have it. So the certain directions to certain foods are very parasite driven. Excessively sweet foods, excessively salty foods, other foods that contain more parasites, we are driven by these parasites, and from my research, in my opinion.
Interesting. Yeah, we've talked about the like zombie ants and zombie bugs that get that fungus, and I did hear that shit about rats turning into idiots when they get it and just like feeding themselves to cats. And it's spooky because you don't want it, because it's easy to be like, yeah, but that's like dumb animals. Like I would know if something was making me binge eat all the time. And it's like, no, that's just me not having discipline. Who knows? Maybe I can offload this. this is parasites. It's not
Yeah,
me.
watch what
Related-
happens. When you remove parasites, watch what happens to your addictions and your cravings. It's night and day. And watch what happens to your mood. And if you go on Amazon and just look up Parasite Cleanse and read the comments under the ones with good reviews, and they will say the craziest stuff in there that has nothing to do with what you would have thought. Like people getting off depression, anxiety medications across the board, and food cravings and addictions disappearing. And so, yeah, like,
well, what's the reason that this isn't like, because like this is like anti-parasite stuff is like real medicine, like parasites are real. What's the reason that doctors don't prescribe that more, or don't assume that more? Like, oh, you have problems consistent with these parasites, we should check for it.
Yeah, because root cause medicine is being thrown out the window, and drugs, like this is the Carnegie Rockefeller One World Order, New World Order of the medical system, like which was connected to the Flexner Report of 1910, where they literally just destroyed naturopathic medicine in the world and sought to squash everything and then shower money on the petrochemical drug revolution. And so we completely lost it, and it was all built in the financial system. And then like a lot of us over the years have almost been running for our lives. I'm not even exaggerating. And if I told you the stories, and if you read the history, but also people that I've known, and still a lot of us are puzzled, like, did they just die of natural causes, or was it foul play? And I'm not the guy that would ask that unless there was enough facts that were suspicious enough to make me wonder, because it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry, I don't know. I'm not, but certainly there have been many proven cases, and people like Harold Hoxsey was, in prison so many times, and he was a revolutionary treating governors, and they'd try to assassinate him, and whoever was sent to do that, and he would pull out his gun and shoot back. And the prisoner was, when he was a prisoner, they would surround the prison and ask demand that he was released. And I went to his clinic in Tijuana that his daughter was running, the Hoxsey Biomedical Center. That's Harold Hoxsey. So like the history of this has been so wild over the years that that's why you don't know about these things, because the people that are more free to talk about and believe in it aren't able to share it without being censored. But there is a bit of a revolution now where we're able to have these conversations. That's why you're even hearing about it. That's why you know about it. So I really feel like people should not take that information for granted, because your life will be that much better. And more, it's just going to be awesome. Like I've seen it so many times.
Yeah, I definitely don't know much about all this stuff at all, but